Welcome back, guys. This is James from Diskord. In this part, we're going to start working on the arrangement of the track. So we're just going to break it down into the intro, breakdown, build, drop, and the second drop. So a couple of things just before we get into actually doing it. I want to just cover a few, basics and sort of important things to remember when you're laying out your track. The first thing is, as I've probably said a million times already, simplicity is very important. Choose the best idea you've got in the track and make that the focus of the track. So kind of allude to it with other parts of the song and repeat it. Without as long as it doesn't become boring, then repeat it. If it becomes boring, then maybe it's not your best idea in the track. If it's really a strong idea, then it will hold up to being repeated a fair amount in the track. We're going to do a basic structure of, like I said, it's going to be intro, breakdown, build up, drop. There'll be another breakdown, another build up, and then a different drop on the second drop, and an outro. So that's just like the most bog standard club track layout. But there's a reason why it's worked for 20 plus years, and that's because on a dance floor it works. Next thing is just try and keep in mind kind of the dynamics of your track and also ebb and flow of the track. So basically, don't just have the intro and then all of a sudden it's the breakdown and there's nothing to kind of join the two together. I'll show you a couple of ways of joining them together in a minute, but just make sure that when you're coming to the end of the intro, you can feel that you're coming to the end of the intro and you can feel that you're about to go into the next section, because that's really important. It builds the excitement on the dance floor when you know that you're coming into the next next section of the track, and maybe it's the breakdown where everyone's going to start screaming at you and putting their hands in the air, or it's the build where everyone's going to get proper excited. You want to make sure that you can tell that that's happening. So that's that will be through the use of risers, snare rolls, filters, whatever it might be, but we'll cover a few of them later on. And also the other thing I wanted to say is kind of keep it concise these days, especially we're writing trap music here, or our version of trap music, and the fact is, especially in trap and EDM, the sections, each section is generally pretty short. It doesn't need to stay around for longer than required. So if 8 bars is long enough, then 8 bars is long enough. Don't feel like you have to just paste it out just to make the tune longer. If you can get across the vibe that you want to get across in 8 bars or 16 bars, then that's good. Apart from anything else, you're better off it being shorter and people wanting to listen to it again than it being twice as long as it needs to be, and by the end of the track you're actually bored of what's going on. Just try and keep things moving constantly. Get in, get the job done, and then get out again, because it keeps the energy up, it keeps people excited. So that's just a little bit about the basics. Come and join us in the next part and we'll actually start laying out the track.
If you like this course, why not head over to sonicacademy.com, where we have hundreds of complete track builds in every genre imaginable, including all the project files and samples. You'll also find tutorials on plugins and synths, mixing and mastering, over 250 tech tips, artist interviews, along with our award-winning plugins, samples and preset packs.